I'm Lerner, and today I'm talking to you guys about the Fuji X Pro 1. I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of this camera and camera system, which I think is really kind of awesome. I've kind of been lusting for this system since it first came out. And like the X100, which I knew that I wanted when that first came out, I didn't want to be an early adopter. I know that there was a lot of firmware issues, there was some focusing issues. I know with the X100 that, you know, with the focus, the way that it took them a while to get that sorted out, last thing I wanted to do was be one of the first people playing with this thing without raw conversions and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, flash to now, I managed to find myself a really beautiful clean copy. And not only did I buy the clean copy, I actually bought the 35, the 18, and the 60. So I've got the full range from wide to normal to telephoto, which is also macro, which is a really nice thing. So, you know, to be able to get into a full cool camera system for less than the cost of a D600 to me is pretty cool. Now, why did I buy this thing? Well, there's often times when I'm doing street photography or travel photography or even just behind the scenes stuff where I kind of want to be stealthy. I don't want that big cocoonch of a shutter. I don't want to have a gigantic pro looking DSLR hanging off of me, you know, where it just says pro photographer, because at times that's not I just want to be stealthy. I've got a lot of travel booked this year, you know, both for work, for pleasure, some photo trips, all different kinds of stuff, and I really just want to have a system where I can, you know, like I said, be somewhat stealthy and be able to get really good images, really good quality images at the same time. So this isn't really like a whimsical kind of a thing. It's not like just a toy. This is actually a tool. I'm going to actually be putting this quite a bit to use. I will be using it for professional shoots, and in fact, I actually used it professionally just yesterday, just last night. I was tasked to shoot a fashion show. It was a lingerie show. And I know a lot of you out there are like feeling really sad for me right now, but somebody had to do it. So I actually brought the Fuji along and I shot a ton of backstage with this thing. And you know, we were in a very dimly lit room, just a handful of lights, and I was shooting this thing at f2 at ISO 3200, and I can tell you that I am just completely floored. I'm blown away. The image quality is just spectacular. Even at 3200, the color was pretty damn good and so sharp. I mean, fantastic glass on this thing, really nice sensor, just really nice handling, and just, you know, you can just get right up there, and it's just that nice little shutter sound. It's like so quiet. Love it. So there's something really nice about that, just kind of like the stealthy nature of it. And that's the cool thing about having something like this. It's kind of like, you know, maybe a poor man's Leica, if you want to call it that. You know, the M9 system, body alone, you're talking $7 grand, maybe $5 grand used. Then you start adding a 35, you know, if you did a 35-1.4, you're over $3 grand, even used. So just to walk in the door, you know, you're talking about, you know, almost 10 grand or more for the Leica system. Now, I'm not like knocking Leica at all. I love the Leica stuff. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. Manual focus, that's another thing you got to contend with. So I'm perfectly content with dealing with the quirky nature of the Fuji system so that I can have that nice autofocus. So I don't want to digress too far on this, but I can say that my first impressions that I'm really enjoying using this camera system. I think it's really a lot of fun and it's really cool. And I wanted to share with you guys just a few images that I shot at Fashion Week, and just give you guys a sense of what those images look like, so you can as well see kind of like my first impressions in working with this. Alright, so let's head into Lightroom and let's look at some of these images from backstage at the lingerie La Perla fashion show, and let's just go right into this one right here. And here we go. We are at ISO 3200. Okay, I mean, this is just crazy. ISO 3200. Okay, and this is natural light. There's very little light in this room. It's a very dimly lit place. We only had like these kind of cone lights, or if you want to call them like can lights, these just metal lights illuminating you know, the workstations where the models were getting makeup or hair done. And this is the Fuji, you know, shot at f2 at 3200 ISO. We've got all this beautiful detail here. You can see all the little peach fuzz on her cheek. All the different gradations of shadow fall off are really super cool. Tons of detail in here. I mean, even just the eye color looks absolutely stunning and fantastic. And if we just want to look, I actually like the black and white look of this. I think it's even more kind of stunning and kind of grabs you a little bit more, but the color information is there even at 3200. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just incredible. You know, the sharpness, the level of clarity, you know, the whites in her eyes, the eye color, all the little kind of dimpling in textures in her lips there, all the things that as a portrait photographer you're looking for. And this is at f2, so we're completely sharp, tack sharp in focus. We've got beautiful fall off on the background there, fantastic color, great, you know, skin tones and texture and detail, really lovely. And, you know, again, black and white to me just kind of nails it. Again, here's another one, like great skin tones, great eyes. You know, I mean, look at how creamy this is over here, just like so smooth and buttery bokeh, yet so tack sharp over here. Great color, great eye color, and all the nuances are there. You know, and if we go into black and white, you know, again, it pops, and just same kind of deal over here. You know, just really nice. You know, let's go to the color version. You know, we got great color, great skin tones, good fall off, and you know, then we go to black and white, and it's, you know, again, to me it pops a little bit more. So I'm pretty happy with you know, with what I'm seeing, and you know, think that the Fuji is doing a really terrific job with all this. You know, just considering that this is just right out of the camera with just a little bit of editing. We've got fantastic skin tones, we've got amazing clarity, and this is high ISO. And, you know, look, I'm not necessarily going to want to shoot high ISO all the time, but it's amazing to think that I've got this capability. And not to knock the Leica, because again, it's an amazing system, but there's no chance in hell we would be shooting at ISO 3200 and expect good results with that. Just a different animal. Every camera system has its limitations, and it really isn't important that you have one or the other. I just can say that the Fuji system is something that I've wanted to check out for a really long time. I know that I'm going to be using it professionally. I know I'm going to be using it for fun. It's always going to be on set with me, and I'm certainly going to travel with it. And I think that there are going to be times when I'm going to leave the big, you know, professional, you know, bodies and big pro glass at home and take the Fuji system, because it really does a nice job. So I am in no way sponsored by Fuji. I really am, you know, have nothing to gain necessarily by singing their praises, but I can say that as a tool, it's really fantastic. It's really producing some beautiful results, and I can't wait to even use it more. And speaking of which, you know, we haven't even gotten into flash with the Fuji, so that's something that I can see happening very soon on the horizon. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. As well as keep your eyes peeled for the beginner flash video that Jared and I have been working on and are very excited to share with you guys in the coming months. So there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and we'll see you soon.